Alright, so today, hey, I'm a little scared to do this video. I'm going to read the worst reviews that I have on my books. And you're coming with me on this wonderful journey. Let's see what we have. Okay, let's start off here. Alright. Larry writes, I was surprised that with a 4.5-star rating, this book was so bad. Quit after 20 to 30 pages. Weak characters, no plot, and not written very well. Just saying. Well, Larry, the plot started on page 31. So if you'd have read one more page, let's see what MR writes. Poorly written attempt at copying the Golden Age style of pulp thrillers. Struck me as being written by a 14-year-old. How dare you? 14? Bitch. You'd be lucky to read a story I wrote when I was 14. Well, that's okay. Charlene wrote, author couldn't decide on his sci-fi style genre. I liked the blurb and reviews about this book, but they fell way short of reality. Okay, just dropped my phone, but we're good. It's probably gonna drop again. I'm scared. Alright, where were we? Charlene, I liked the blurb and reviews about this book, but they fell way short of reality. I did manage to make it to chapter 10 before giving up. I think this author wanted to write in every style of sci-fi that is on the market today. So, oh, that's a long one. So the story started with a boy who lost his parents and his horrible military instructor uncle, kind of Cinderella-like. He ends up in a dream telling him he is the chosen one and is marked with a tattoo. And of course, now he ends up in foster care. Flash forward and the story goes to the terrorists getting a nuke. Then of course, blowing the world up with said nukes. So a quick switch to the military evacuating civilians to save them, resulting in the blah 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 blah. We'll skip the whole thing, but she goes to how I jump around. Flashback to the boy rescued by military and now topside in jungle. He is known as the Chosen One, and with an oracle's direction starts on a quest to find the other two horsemen with 2 other teenage sidekicks. Think Hunger Games or any teenage dystopian storyline. This is where I stop, because the teenage bratty boy and the teenage angst that was just implied to come next was something I was not going to be able to handle. See why I had to stop at chapter 10? I gave it a good effort and benefit of the doubt by making it to 30% of the book, per my Kindle. Really good thing I got it free, or I would be pissed at the wasted money. Well, Charlene, I honor your attempt, but there would be no teenage angst to come because I was the age of the characters when I wrote the book. So I wrote it honestly, unless I had angst. Do I seem angsty to you guys? I don't think so. Lady. Wow, this is bad. Well, I don't like how this is starting. I read the other reviews and thought it would be good. Man, was I wrong. The characters were not believable, and the story is terrible. The author must have thought that if there was just a lot of running and fighting zombies, then you really didn't need a story. That's all this book is. The other reviews must have been written by family and friends because this book is not, I repeat, not worth reading. Well, listen here, lady. Absolutely zero of the reviews on that book are from family and friends. So, suck it. Jerk. Wyatt. His blurb says, dumb. I thought this would be a funny book to read, but it took me 5 minutes at the most to read. Fair enough, Wyatt. It was a short story about dinosaurs taking over the Home Depot. But it is pretty short. Breck. No ending again. This book stops. I'm the middle of the story. Perhaps the author expects us to search out a sequel. I, for one, will not. Too bad. It was a decent story. Needs editing. Many spelling errors. True dat, true dat. To be honest, Breck, the book didn't sell enough for me to write a sequel. But I had plans. Guess who gets to buy a new camera stand because mine keeps falling apart? This guy. Okay. So now we have Keghalar. 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 And I quote, "This reads like it was written by an unschooled 14-year-old boy." So if it was written like an unschooled 14-year-old girl, would that be better or worse? You gotta be more specific, Kehiglar. Or maybe you're being too specific. Anyway, he says, and I quote, "Let me start by saying that the premise has promise. However, the atrocious spelling errors, grammatical incoherences, and utter unreadability of the thing make me only give it 1 star. I tried to get past it all, and I only continued reading because some of the errors actually made me laugh out loud due to their inanity. At one point, the main character was making dinner and cutting up unions instead of onions. Truly hysterical. This writer absolutely needs a proofreader and or editor." At this time, all of that was true. But that was 2012, and I've come a long way and learned a lot. And learned to employ the right people to help me with errors. Robert. Original. Far-fetched. Flawed. The book is quite original, weaving different sci-fi themes and genres into the apocalypse novel. There are, for example, elements of time travel or anachronistic novels, reworking of myth and history, the battle of good and evil, and so forth. The plot twists and characterizations are simplistic, ludicrous, or juvenile, sometimes all three simultaneously. The writer is action-oriented. The writing is action-oriented and sometimes carries the story in a compelling way. However, the style is replete with spelling and syntax errors. For example, lots of homophones, e.g. Right for Right. This is another one from that same year, same time. I do not like to write negative reviews, but my annoyance with this novel's editing lapses, preposterous action, and oversimplification won the battle against keen interest in the plot. In short, if you do not mind energetic but juvenile sci-fi, if a wild plot and true originality of genre mashup are more important for you than psychological complexity or fine writing, then this is a novel for you. However, if you expect literary quality in your entertaining sci-fi, then you probably want to look elsewhere. Overall, this novel is original, imaginative, and energetic, but simplistic, juvenile, and replete with stylistic flaws and grammatical errors. I cannot say that I recommend it. Well, buddy. Totally true. But I definitely worked on it. That was a long time ago. Yeah, 2012, that was a hard year for my writing. I had a lot of learning to do. That was when I first entered the market. That's the last of my 1-star reviews. I'll do 1 2-star review. Drew says, people don't talk like that. I'm glad this was a free Kindle book, because if I'd have paid anything for it, I'd want a refund. I gave it 2 stars instead of 1 because it was entertaining enough to keep me reading it to the end. My biggest complaint involved the dialogue between characters. The author apparently didn't have a good understanding about how people actually talk to each other, especially in the situations in which the characters find themselves. They're called contractions, like the word that begins this sentence. People use them when they speak, and if a character is talking but not using them, it makes them sound robotic or illiterate. Then there's the character Barnes. I got the impression that the author had just seen the movie Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind and pattern him after one of the slaves. Really? There are better ways to let the readers know that the character is black, other than having him sound like he comes straight from the cotton fields in late 1800s. Okay, this one taught me a lot. And the last part, the Gone with the Wind one, I always wrote the character to be like, I pictured like he's a homeless person. I pictured like literally like a dirty Santa Claus, like Saint Nick sitting there just covered in dirt and soot and just being like, in my mind that was the character. So when I read this, like, he's totally shocked me that someone would think like that. I don't know, that one blew me away. But I don't know. But the syntax errors part was actually really helpful, because I never did that when I started writing, and it's just some bad habit I had developed. And then reviews like this had actually turned me on, and I used them to be like, oh. And like, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I don't know why I'm doing that. It's so stupid. And so then I fixed it. I don't do that anymore. Bonus round. Audible. This is my latest review of all my reviews. and kind of gave me the idea to do this video. Okay. Not funny at all. I bought this after seeing other reviews about how funny a story this would be. It was poorly read and written. Lucky it only cost me about $2. Too bad though, that $2 could have bought a Powerball ticket or a candy bar instead. If Audible will publish this garbage, then I guess I have a chance at making money writing my own fiction. You dick. Give it a shot. See what you got. Let me rate yours. Actually, I'd feel really bad if we could like look at an alternative universe and he spent $2 on a lottery ticket and it was the Powerball winner. And I'm like, ah, you were so right. You should have bought that lottery ticket. It's harder to find on Audible. I think that's it for the bonus round. Yep. I think that's it. It wasn't so bad. The worst part was that my phone kept falling. What'd you guys think? I think considering how many reviews I have, it's not bad at all. I have like, I don't know how many reviews I have, but it's somewhere in the range of like, including Audible, over 100. So that's not very many. Actually, I never look at those unless I'm trying to like fix the syntax errors or trying to be with like, you know, just to see every once in a while to be like, all right, you gotta look at the bad with the good. But I try for motivational purposes to only look at the good, which is cool because people are awesome. But yeah, that's my 1-star reviews. What'd you think? What'd you think? Alright, see ya later. Let's do later.